Often when we think about public art, we imagine large sculptures and visual, physical kind of pieces of or works that we can see and feel large spaces. So when we think about poetry, initially it doesn't come to mind as something that would qualify as a public art project. But the fact that 30 by 30 by 30 is taking place in an open community space where people can see me writing, see me engage with the work, that makes it public. It's also an open, transparent process that is meant to be shared. And I'm also focusing on really talking about and starting conversations within community settings. Every day I write the poems. I'll also record a video blog that will be shared that same day. And there'll be a discussion thread where people can ask questions, offer ideas. Beyond reading the poem that I've written that day, I'll be talking about some of the issues that I face, some of the challenges, some of the ideas. I'll be looking at the physical space I'm in and how that affects the writing. I'll be talking about the artwork that's in the 30 Americans exhibit and raising questions related to the content of the artwork. All of that is meant to really start this open, community-based public conversation about creativity and art and its impact in our daily lives. That is a public art project. I've been watching the 30 American exhibit travel across the country over the past couple of years and been really excited about getting a chance to engage with it. I think the artists who are being represented are really important. This is a collection of some of the most notable, kind of well-known African American artists over the last 3 decades. And they're dealing with identity in some really important and interesting ways that I think will open up a space for conversation. So I'm excited to write in relationship to what a lot of these artists are doing. The fact that it's named 30 Americans and not 30 African Americans relates to a lot of issues I've dealt with in my own personal writing and kind of growth as a poet. I think about a few major essays I've read, like The Negro and the Negro Artist in the Racial Mountain by Langston Hughes, and writings by Robert Hayden that talk about being a poet, a black poet, a poet who is black, and really recognizing all of the multitudes of identity that we hold, whether it be relationships. I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a wife, I'm Southern, I'm a woman, I'm so many things. And so dealing with these multitudes of identities within visual art and poetry, I think will be a really powerful experience, especially when done transparently, because these are topics that we often find challenging to talk about in open spaces because we don't want to offend someone. We're not always sure what to say. Well, I'm a poet. I don't always have that filter that I sometimes need in social situations. So I'm hoping that these public conversations might break some barriers. I'm also excited about writing at the Frist Center because there have been so many spaces in Nashville that have been crucial to my quality of life here. I think of these creative kind of open spaces as creative placemaking, these arts institutions. I actually had my very first date with my husband at the Frist Center. It was an amazing way for us to start to get to know one another. This is a place I've taken my daughter to, who's now a teenager. I've taken her there since she was 1 or 2 years old. So it's been a part of my life every day, and I want to show how on a regular basis we can engage in these different spaces in a way that works for us in the reality of our lives. I've taught in many settings that aren't art specific or poetry focused, and people often ask, how does this relate to my life? What does this have to do with me? And I think a lot about my daughter. There are so many life skills and experiences that I want her to have, and there's no way that I can prepare her for every possible situation she will encounter. I would like to try, but I know it's just not realistic. So the best that I can do for my daughter, the best that I can do for my students and other people I care about is to help equip them with tools that will help us all to navigate the many, many situations that we might encounter in our lives. Art, I believe, engaging with artwork, literary, visual, performing art, can be a bridge experience for us. And by that, I mean, think about how many times you have come up against a person, a situation, a task that you did not know how to handle. You didn't quite understand it, weren't sure where to start, and you're just overwhelmed. I can think of like 7 or 8 just within the past few weeks. Well, when you learn how to approach artwork, when you learn how to sit down with a novel, a poem in front of you that initially seems outside of kind of your realm of reality, when you learn the tools to critically think, creatively think, and work through that, you can transfer those skills in other areas of your lives. I've often been to a museum or a gallery and I've seen a painting and my gut reaction is just to run, like turn the other way and not deal with it. Maybe the artist actually intended for us to have that interaction. I want to talk about how we can approach work, possibly from spaces of confusion or just overwhelming sense of beauty, and how we can transfer the way that we start to understand and engage that work to our everyday lives. If I can look at a painting that initially confuses me and I have no idea where to begin, and I know how to take my time, take it apart, step into it kind of mentally and emotionally, that means when I meet a person who confuses me or a person I don't know how to interact with, I have those skills to somehow get to know with them and work with them in a way that can be fulfilling for us both. That's part of the value of art for me. I hope this project affects a large, wide range of people. I mean, I've taught young people, I've taught, people who are retired. I think we can all find something we enjoy when we engage with creativity. And part of what I'm really interested in here is thinking about, what does arts participation and arts patronage look like? We say that, and I think we have a picture of the person who typically, goes to galleries and museums and reads poetry, and maybe we think we can't be arts patrons because we can't write that check with all the zeros that almost fall off of the edge of the check. Well, maybe we don't have a building named after us, but we can be an arts patron by patronizing the arts, by being involved, by attending events, by investing $30, $90 in a project, by supporting a local artist. You can patronize and support arts and creativity in very local, step-by-step incremental ways. And I think the effects can be wide-reaching, and that's something that I'll constantly talk about during this project. When I'm going every day to visit the exhibit, I want to look around and talk about who's there. I want to notice, maybe kids running around who are, looking and pointing and seeing things that maybe we don't always see as adults. I think just paying attention to participation with a wider view will show us some amazing things. So please get involved. I'm inviting you to be my partner in this 30 by 30 by 30 project. You can do that several ways. Share the information. Please forward this video in an email and social media outlets. If you're part of an institution or organization, a social civic organization that does arts and social programming, consider bringing us in and talking about the 30 by 30 by 30 project and poetry and visual art and how all of this adds to the fabric of our community. I'll also be inviting people to come write with me on specific days during my month of writing. We've made some great relationships with nonprofit organizations, people who've maybe never been into a museum or a gallery and really thought of themselves as writers. They'll be with us. We're also inviting a few people who invest in the project to come write with us. So look on the side of the screen, this way, one of those ways, and you'll see the list of perks and patronage levels. Get involved financially. Sometimes we just have to put our money where our real beliefs and our feelings are. This would be a great way for you to be an arts patron. And you'll see all sorts of thank you gifts that I would love to send you. Gifts that really extend the 30 by 30 by 30 project in some meaningful ways. So get involved. I look forward to hearing from you. I hope you'll be a part of the conversations as we post daily blogs starting October 27th. And I look forward to really seeing the ways that these arts conversations are affecting our daily lives. Thank you so much.